Testing, testing. I should probably turn off the control, the CC. There we go. Because it doesn't work on YouTube. Wicked, welcome to the channel. I see you're already here. You're here before me. How are you doing, my friend? Raining over here after some heat waves. This is relaxing. Yeah. Yeah, it's warm here as well. Jeez. Too warm to even walk the dog. Let me know if the audio is alright on your end, because obviously I can't tell on my end. That's a little unfortunate. So yeah, today is mostly gonna be chill. What is the? How do I link the? Hold on. Loud and clear. Thank you very much. So yeah, the Hall Live English first concert is streaming in about an hour. So let me see. Wow, that's loud. Whew. Yeah, it should be an hour, right? Wait, is it hour or right now? Holy shit. Live connected world start time. Supposed to start at 8, 9. Okay, so it opens at 6 p.m. Pacific time, which means it starts at 9. Which means it opens at 8 here. It starts at 9. So yeah, I got about an hour. That's fine. That's fine. I bought the tickets. I don't want to miss out. You know, it was the first English concert. I kind of want to make sure we properly catch it. But on my end, I just kind of want to chill today. What's the special occasion of the YouTube stream? None. Well, I do have a couple minor announcements, including some content plans coming up next week. But mostly, I just want to make sure that I am using my YouTube channel a lot more often these days, you know? Even if it's for something relatively minor, like a Zatsudan. I plan to do this about once a week. Make sure that the channel is in fact in the algorithm site. And all of this was spurred because of, you know, the drama with Twitch and YouTube over the last couple months has made it quite clear that you can't really put all your eggs in one basket, right? Like, it'd be really, really dumb to. So yeah, I'm making sure that my YouTube channel is maintained. I'm planning to also probably do a little bit of writing on Tumblr. Maybe a couple posts on Instagram. Well, Instagram and TikTok, I really need to like sit down and make shorts, right? I've done it before, especially for advertising for my birthday model. That was fun. But it's also really, really... Making pre-made videos is kind of tiring, for me at least. So I need to like find the energy with everything else I'm doing at the moment and put out short videos. Either that, I should just like put out the money for an editor to do so. I don't wanna. Like, I'm incurring a lot of expenses doing YouTubing and doing VTubing in the first place. So like, spending money, not my favorite thing in the world, you know? Not my favorite idea. But I'll do what I can. I do want to take this more seriously. Oh yeah, to take it requires hours for 1 minute of video. Now I can crank, depending on like how much work I put into like scripting or anything else, right? If it's simply like clipping out a piece of a pre-existing stream, I can get out a couple minutes worth of video out of like an hour's worth of work. I've done it before for, well, previous clients, let's put it that way. In my IRL job, I have done some media work before. I have done like video editing, content making for, especially for Instagram Reels, which was actually a lot of fun. Which is basically the same thing as doing for TikTok, honestly, because honestly, once you figure out the system for one, it applies to the other, minus having to tweak certain formats so it shows up better on one platform or the other. Let's not get into how messy Facebook/Meta's UI is on the back end. It's a pain in the ass. But yeah, you're not wrong. It takes hours for 1 minute video, or it takes the same amount of time for 10-minute video. So you might, and 10 minute, well, no, it takes like, it's not like a linear relation, right? You don't get like 1 hour or like even 30 minutes equals 1 minute. And it depends on the video you want to do. The story summary video I did for Honkai Star Rail on its release was like 2 hours worth of work for, I think it was roughly, 4 minutes 37 seconds worth of content, right? It's not the worst of it. And most of it was actually on the planning end, right? Writing out the script, figuring out what assets I need to hunt down, especially like finding the relevant clips for Galaxy Express 999, for instance, or anything else like that. The research end is definitely the most tedious part of it, and or the most rewarding, depending on how you want to look at it. And then like actually like sitting down, doing section by section, doing the verbal part of it, and then like recutting certain bits that didn't come out quite as clear or quite as enunciated as well. Yeah, live stream is just easier. Live streaming and not having to think about the stream afterwards is just so much easier. What else? Training for Evo is still going on, obviously. If you've been following my Twitch channel, you know that I've been struggling with cleaning up some of the things I've been ignoring for the last couple of years just because they were harder to do. It's mostly input discipline, right? Knowing like doing only the input you want to do instead of just like mashing out and hopefully it finally comes out. That has been a struggle. I've been getting a lot better about that. And of course, there is a direct relationship between how comfortable you are with a character and how mashy you are with it. The more comfortable you are with the exact timing and everything else for a character, the less likely you're going to mash. And obviously, the more practice you've put into certain combo routes and everything, the more efficient you become over time and gain those out with the minimum amount of movement possible. Because then it just becomes muscle memory. I kind of wish I can say that I've been happy about my progress so far with fighting games. But any sort of creative endeavor, I definitely count getting good at fighting games as like the same thing as martial art. It's an actual art. But the problem there is that there is a very non-linear relationship between improving at art and improving at seeing your art. I'm sure there's a Tumblr post or a Twitter post that goes into it in more detail. But especially with the what it basically is that your skill improvement is mostly going to be like a linear rate. Over time, you steadily become more skilled and better at what you're trying to do, at a fairly predictable, steady progress, right? But your ability to spot your mistakes is not as linear. It's kind of like a step, like a wave function, right? The more confident you become, like you want to see it so that your confidence and your ability to see the art that or the creative pursuit you're doing is relatively linear, right? Like you want it to be so that the more skilled you are, the more confident you become. But it's actually not quite true. Not quite true. Your eyes are going to be faster than your hands in improving, right? You're going to be able to recognize, hey, GG, what's up? Welcome to the YouTube channel. What was that? Right. Your ability to see improvements and see mistakes is a skill unto itself, and it is the easier skill to develop. And what I mean by that is that it's the same thing as developing like a critical eye or critical theory, right? Your eyes are going to advance a lot faster than your hands in developing its own approach to art and style and observation or fighting games. So right now I'm at the point where I can see a lot of fighting games because I've been putting in the hours into replays, into researching and analyzing pro matchups to see what they're doing versus what I'm doing, right? So I would say that my skill at observing fighting games and understanding fighting games on a visual level is as high as it's ever been, and it's also outpaced my actual like my personal improvements, right? So I'm able to see the flaws I'm doing a lot more than I was previously, which is a point of frustration. Because even though I'm improving in fighting games, I'm not feeling that improvement as rapidly as I am observing my flaws instead. And that's going to happen repeatedly as I engage with fighting games, or really engage with any sort of competitive or skill-based labor in the first place, especially skill-based labor, especially with the arts, especially with writing, music, and everything else. It's always easier to spot mistakes than it is to spot your improvements, right? And although I do have tangible proof that I am improving, like even regardless of what my skill level is in the game, or what my ladder rank is, there are things that I'm doing now that are easier for me to do now than it was just like 1 month ago, or especially 3 months ago. I finally got to the point where my overdrive inputs are happening reliably within a PvP match in itself. And because I'm now playing Street Fighter 6 as well as Guilty Gear Strive, I'm also noticing a lot more about the habits I've picked up in one game versus the other. Noticing when I'm trying to use those habits in one game or the other and failing, and also noticing, to my surprise, when those habits actually help me in the other game. Even though I had no intention of doing it whatsoever, and honestly only picked up because of specifics within that game itself. The biggest example of this would be empty jumping in Street Fighter 6 is a reactive empty jumping rather in Street Fighter 6 is a skill you're going to pick up simply because you're going to find yourself in the corner a lot, versus multiple layers of 50-50 guesses. Are they going to drive impact you? Are they going to run up and throw to set up a throw loop? Are they going to set up an anti-air expecting you to jump? Can you mash your fastest button to punch them out of the situation? Or can you yourself use a drive impact to shove yourself out of the situation? But if you drive, but that has its own catch, right? If you use drive impact too soon, that 50-50 goes up against you. Like if they press drive impact later than you did, then you're fucked. Especially in the corner when you're going to be stunned against the wall and they're going to have a free hit against you instead of a free combo. That is so painful. Getting cornered in Street Fighter 6 it's a unique sort of hell. And most of the time, what I found is that the answer is to simply jump. They can't grab you if you're jumping. Drive impact is going to miss if they're jumping. If they're going to drive rush you in the corner, it's going to miss. If they're going to try to jab you in the corner, it's going to miss as well. So, although you might still get hit by an anti-air if they predict it, empty jumping into a jumping medium kick, for instance, with Jiri, is going to stick your leg out very far and kick them out of the way. So that works out in Street Fighter 6. What I didn't realize is that this is also really useful in Guilty Gear, actually. If they're going to be right up against you, it's a similar sort of 50-50 situation, right? They're either going to try to grab you, they're either going to try to hit you with something, and actually that's it. Or they might back up, but backing up is also safe because jumping up in Guilty Gear is a lot more advantageous than it is in even Street Fighter. In Street Fighter, you really don't want to jump unless you're in the corner in that specific situation, or else you're going to get hit, right? It's much easier to hit you with the anti-air. But it's completely safe to jump in Guilty Gear. So what I've been finding is that I've been reactively empty jumping in Guilty Gear a lot more because my fingers are begging to do so after hours of Street Fighter, and that causes them to whiff. And then because I'm playing Bridget, that's just a free combo for me. That's excellent. That's excellent. That's a good habit to pick up from another fighting game. And like I've heard of this phenomenon before because what's his name? Pat Miller, who organizes a lot of Zerd Rev 2 tournaments with his I believe they're married now actually. Are they married or still engaged? But with Coquette, the artist. He's written before about how playing certain games and then going back to CVS2, his favorite game, often makes him a better player in one or the other, right? Especially from going from more complex games with more complex mechanics and more like mental load to deal with, and then going back to a game with less. Because the game with less, obviously there's less mental load for you to need to account for. It's much easier to spot the patterns in that, and then it's just easier to deal. And that's what I've been finding with going back and forth between Street Fighter 6 and Guilty Gear. So hey, that's good. That feels good. I'm making progress, even if I can't really feel that progress, right? Even if I like still losing certain matchups. Like, God, Happy Chaos matchup is just brutal. But I'm thinking there are situations that in the Happy Chaos matchup that I have a better eye for now, even though I'm still losing. And all I need to do is like face them a lot more. And I can probably find ways to take the skills I develop in Street Fighter, apply it back into the Happy Chaos matchup, and find my way through. Find that the eye of the needle to sneak my way through. So it's not wasted effort. Thank God. Speaking of fighting games, though, I do have a potential collab that I will talk about in more detail next week. Well, no, I'll have the details Wednesday latest, but the stream itself will be happening potentially next week on Saturday. And it'll be a fun one. If you've been following my content for the last couple of years, well, especially since last year, you probably have an idea of what it might be. Hint, it's been a year. It's almost time for EVO 2023. I did sign up to compete, just like last year. And so I plan to revisit some of the content I did last year around the game. So that is going to be a lot to look forward to, and it's going to be an even bigger deal this year because I found a few more people, you know? Make a drink. I do also plan to do a lot more content around fighting games in short form, just to, well, I think the best way to approach this, especially to just lower the, like, mental block I have in making shorts, is that every single time I have a thought about like fighting game theory, especially how to approach improvement at fighting games, I should literally just write down a short like 1-minute script and make a blog like this to post on TikTok and Instagram Reels. Actually, I should probably do something with the Instagram account I set up the last time that we thought Twitter was going to die, because this time it feels like Twitter is actually going to die, you know? This time it actually feels like doomsday is upon us. Is that because it's like there are plenty of warning signs before that things were kind of going to shitter, but it's not a policy level issue this time. It's simply like shit's hit the fan. Shit has finally hit the fan on the platform. Money's run out on Twitter's contract with Google's cloud servers, so they've been busy trying to move all that shit over to some other like server storage facility, and along the way, everything's starting to fall apart. And what's worse is that, and their rush to get everything off of the more expensive platform, because apparently Twitter owes Google over $1 billion that they can't pay because Elon Musk is a cheapskate and broke at this point. Yeah, they owe Google $1 billion. They need to move them off to a different cloud service. And along the way, when they shut down like public views of Twitter posts, they've made it so that it causes like a feedback loop of like every single time you try to view a Twitter post off-site, instead of simply giving you the post, they have to give you a redirection message to the fact that the post no longer exists. And that's causing what people are speculating online as basically a DDoS situation for Twitter, right? That's hilarious. And their effort to reduce traffic, they've only caused more. That's starkly hilarious and humorous. But it does kind of throw a wrench into everybody else's plans, right? If you've been using Twitter before for community building, for advertising, for marketing purposes, for VTuber related to everything, really, because the community basically lives on Twitter, good luck. I guess. It sucks for me. I was using Twitter a lot for both like private and professional use. We're gonna have to find another home. I don't know if that's gonna be Tumblr. I don't know if that's going to be like just like everybody going on to the virtual YouTuber subreddit, which is not a great idea because Reddit's also screwing things over. They actually started charging for API, like putting a very huge bill for APIs now, which is shutting down all the third-party app support. There's a lot I want to say that I'm too tired to say about the whole situation with social media and like public platforms and like rich people trying to make what's effectively a town hall or town square situation that they can monetize off, only to find out that it's hard to monetize. Ori, what's up? If I got a more collab, God, I wish. Don't think I haven't tried to, like, okay. Here's the thing, right? For the collab that I hinted at coming out on July 8th, I actually did contact a couple agency folks just to see if I can, right? Like, I am not going to be shy about it. I am not going to be shy about, like, about reaching out to people with significantly bigger followings than I have, just because you can't really get ahead of this life without having a little ballsiness, right? Having a little ambition. So no, so I don't have the Mori collab. Just to be perfectly frank, I'm not going to pretend at something that I don't have. But I'm not going to say I haven't tried to contact Niji Sanji or Hololive or anybody else to get some of this shit together. But yeah, the situation sucks overall. Oh, Cord, what's up? Yeah, Sunday, right? Sunday. Obviously, everything builds on top of each other, so I'm not going to pretend that I'm not interested in collabing with agency folks, right? But obviously, in order to get there, I need to be doing a lot more. And that loops back to what I've been discussing earlier about making more short-form content, because YouTube really cares about that right now. And obviously, TikTok, Instagram, Reels, I have personal experience, like professional experience building audiences and building communities on Instagram Reels especially. So it's not an unfamiliar task. It's just a lot of work. Video editing is a lot of fun, but it's a pain. What else? Oh, health-wise. If you have been following my TikTok over the last like few months, I have been a little more public about my work towards physical improvements, right? Personal physical improvements. And I'm happy to say, not only did I lose all the weight I gained over Avkai, I am well on my way back to being on the same level of progress as I was before. Which is really happy, because I'm not going to kid anybody. I ate a lot of Avkai, and I did not watch my health whatsoever. Avkai... Well, I talked about Avkai during my last stream, but there was some delicious ass junk food over there, and it was relatively cheap too. Like, we're talking about like $8 bowls of tater tots filled with what was it? It was kimchi, green onions, unagi sauce, mayo, some sesame seeds. With the most unfortunate name, I would not have personally called it the kamikaze bowl myself. It did have some Japanese ingredients, but the kimchi is really distinctly Korean. And naming it after a suicide bomber is not what I considered the best possible choice of names. But you know what? It was also kamikaze to my diet, so I accept it. It's not the name I would have personally chosen, but it was delicious. It was surprisingly delicious. I normally would have turned my nose up on something like that, but it was only $8. It was really satisfying. But no, health-wise, yeah, just as a status update on my health, I am technically doing better than ever. I even solved the cramps issue I gave myself, and unlike the last time I tried this diet, I'm not having gout, which is the most important thing. Let me tell you something. Gout fucking sucks. If you've never had gout, consider yourself blessed. If you have had gout before, you know what I went through. That was I gained a lot of weight simply because I was afraid of dieting again based off my previous experience with this diet. but the new approach I'm taking with it seems to have solved a lot of the physical issues, while also leaving me really, really tired. Constantly tired, which is not very, very fun. But it's a good sort of tired because it's a tired due to exercising, which is, I'll accept it. If this is what it takes to no longer have the health issues I had previously, especially back during the COVID era, I will gladly accept just feeling exhausted all the time. It's a lot better than the other forms of exhaustion and pain and suffering that I had previously. Plus, the stepping is fun. Go figure that the best way I've ever figured out to maintain my health is to simply turn it into a goddamn game, right? Well, it is what it is. Finally, I had something I wanted to talk about. It's not coming to mind. Shit. Drawing a blank. But yeah. I'll just... Basically, the biggest two things coming my way at the moment is next Saturday's plans, which I need to finalize, but it turns... I got most of the people I contacted with for it. I just doing some final finalizations with them, and we'll have everything's going to come together quite nicely. Although I do need to also work on assets. God damn it. That's fine. I'll figure something out. Oh, I also have 2 days off for July 4th, which is great. My boss doesn't want to work on the day after, so the rest of us aren't working. And that's the best sort of boss, The sort of boss that only makes you do the things that he is willing to do, which means that if he doesn't feel like working, you don't have to work either. That's nice. It's extra pay time off. I fully recommend having a boss like that if you can find it. They're a bit of a rare unicorn, but it's really nice when you have them. But yeah, that buys me a lot of time to put shit together for next weekend. And after that, it's Evo, baby. It's Vegas again, baby. I got a really cheap and sketchy motel room that's really close to Mandalay Bay because I didn't really want to pay for like a resort this time. We'll see if I regret it. The place has a bit of a reputation for being a college kids like party hotel, I don't expect to sleep a lot when I'm traveling in the first place. And there are even medical reasons for that. It turns out that if you're sleeping somewhere unfamiliar, that first day you're sleeping there, you're only like half asleep. Half of your brain's going to be awake during the entire time, which sucks. But also gives you plenty of reason to get to your destination early, so your body adapts. And every single day I'm playing a little bit of fighting games, at minimum 1 hour, just to keep my hands just to keep any rust from developing on my hands, making sure that I'm ready for everybody that I'm going to be facing there. Yesterday, if you saw my Street Fighter 6 stream yesterday with Dokuro, that went pretty well. He's one tier above me on Street Fighter 6's ranking system. And after like 3 matches where I got completely obliterated, I started actually winning. So I'm feeling pretty confident about that. It is just one of those things that you need to do every day though. Like any sort of creative skill. But no, I can't really say that. I don't write every day. I would say I'm a better writer than I was like a year ago. Maybe. Well, no. I'm a better writer than I was a year ago. But not when I was actually actively engaging with developing my writing skills. So I really need to work on that. And part of that just finding more time to read, not write. To read. And the same thing also applies to fighting games. I should really spend more time watching pro footage to make sure I'm on top of it. So many activities. Have you tried anything to prevent carpal tunnel syndrome or hand injury? No. Actually. Mostly because it hasn't been a big issue. I will say that I fully appreciate your concern, however. And it has been a problem before. Back when I was living in Taiwan, I was unfortunately suffering from, I believe they call it, what did they call it? Some kind of elbow syndrome. Mother's nursemaid's elbow. That's what it's called. Ligament slips out of place, get caught between two bones and elbow joint. No, that's not right. That's not what it's called. Or milkmaid elbow? Well, whatever it was. It actually caused, back in Taiwan, I was suffering this issue that caused like severe like numbness and pain in my right hand, which is really sucks because I'm right-handed. This is the hand I use for everything. And luckily, I was living in Taiwan, and I am a Taiwanese citizen, so it cost me only like a couple bucks per session for them to use like electrostimulus therapy to redevelop the muscles around the area and make sure that everything was up and up. So I'm not unused to having hand injuries because of my lifestyle, right? That has been a concern before, but it's less of a concern right now, given that for one thing, the leverless hitbox designs tend to be a lot less injury causing than the traditional fight stick or even like gripping controller. So that's good because you're only moving like your fingers and it doesn't require a huge amount of activation for fingers at that. But also my job in itself, although it is heavily writing based, isn't too taxing in that regard. I kind of almost wish it was, because I have to stare at databases all day and it's driving me a little mad, to be quite honest. I am growing a severe and deeply founded dislike for Excel and Google Calc or Google Calculator or spreadsheets. No, it's LibreOffice Calculator and Google Sheets and just Excel in general. Those cells haunt my nightmares. There are thousands and thousands of fields in all directions. Nothing but grids to fill out over and over and over again. Anyhow, enough about my nightmares. The fact of the matter is, my overall physical health is a lot better than it was before. I should be doing a lot more physical body exercises as well to compensate for the days when I'm simply too tired to do leg days, right? To do Step Mania. I did download a copy of Synth Rider and also downloaded and bought the Muse pack. I kind of wish I didn't because I haven't played it recently. But I have to talk about nightmares. Yeah, I mostly like the work I'm doing right now, but it's not the sort of work I really enjoy doing. I mostly just enjoy the company and the fact that the industry we're in is honestly, it's pretty lighthearted, right? Like even if I screw up badly, I just don't want to screw up in a way that affects my my colleagues, and everything else will do. It's not urgent. Nothing about what we're doing is going to cause anybody's life to be threatened, health to decline, some money to be lost, maybe. It's still a professional field. And it overlaps a lot with my general interests in general, and honestly, it allows me to interact with the VTuber community in some extent, right? Let's say the bet, because I don't want to accidentally dox myself. But everything I do I have a bad habit of making everything I do adjacent to each other, so my brain never really shuts off about everything involved, which is not the most healthy thing. I do think I should be doing more woodworking again, just to give my brain a reason to focus on something completely unrelated to work or even content creation, because unfortunately the two overlap a lot. But I haven't really found the energy to do so because it's too hot in my garage where all the tools are. Frickin' Texas weather. This week alone has been a heat wave, so it's been dangerous to go outside. Literally dangerous to go outside. Because even if you find shade or plenty of hydration, your body doesn't get to cool down. Your sweat's not going to be enough. It's all humid outside, so there's no way for the sweat to dissipate. Gotta love global warming. Well, even if it wasn't global warming, it's just the summers around here are kind of intense. You know? Kind of intense. So that sucks. But yeah. One last thing, right. I have 2 Gundam sets staring me in the face right now In fact, is I have not finished watching Gundam Witch. I've been meaning to because that's a really good series. It's probably one of the best sci-fi series released in the last like 10 years. I haven't had a chance to watch it. That's my passion. God, I really need to check myself. I really need to sit down and watch it. I'm probably going to force people to watch on stream. Gundam G-Witch, Gundam Witch, the Witch of Gundam Witch of Mercury is the full name, right? Or at least I think it's the full name. It has mecha, it has school duels in the same vein as what's it called? Oh, that really weird one. Anime school duels roses. Revolutionary Girl Utena, right? It has duels between school council members, as if it was like a mecha Revolutionary Girl Utena, and then it also has lesbians. You know? Why did I not watch it during Pride Month? I can't believe it slipped my mind. I'm so dumb sometimes. I regret it. I'm going to binge watch that show during the July 4th celebrations. With a burger in hand, with no bun, because I'm still on keto. And I have the kit too. Let me see. What grade was this? Hold on. Like I made the mini version, the chibi version of it before, but I also have the HG version of the Gundam Aerial, which, by the way, took a lot to find. Because for the longest damn time, this kit, if you hear rattling around, this kit was completely sold out for months at a time. That's how good this series was. Even like straight out of the bat, people knew that this one's going to be special. And I did watch a couple episodes, so I'm not like simply like giving effusive praise for a series I haven't watched before myself, right? I just ran out of time to freaking catch up to it. And I was sad about myself about that. Because this is a really good show. It has really great animations. The Gundam designs are freaking amazing. A top tier like Gundam design for first time in generations, right? Also, some really clever use of mechanics. You know what? You're right. Every month is Pride Month. What am I talking about? Every month should be a celebration of Pride. So yeah. So yeah, I guess that's my plan this week, right? Set up for next Saturday and watch as much Gundam as possible because I have a lot to catch up on. I also wanted to finish up watching Bochi because the music is awesome. But yeah, I've been slacking in general on my media viewing, right? Because it's hard after burning myself out on work and then trying to do some content creation on the side to then focus on anything else, and which sucks. Well, no. The biggest thing is I've been doing all this to try to practice fighting games in general, because that's been burning through all of my free time. It's either catch up on my Star Rail dailies or just fighting games all day, or as much as possible, which is great because Evo's coming up, and I don't really regret doing so. But that leaves me with a huge backlog of stuff I have been meaning to catch up on. That's sad. Let's not even get into the complete lack of book reading I've been meaning to do as well. What was it? Gideon the Ninth, which is also space lesbians. I'm sensing a theme on myself. What? Why is it always space lesbians with me? But yeah, Gideon the Ninth, which I've been hearing about via like book talk and a lot of the sci-fi fans, and especially like sci-fi LGBT readers out there. I still need to catch up on Rebecca Kwong's Babel, which is especially of interest to me, right? That is basically fantasy linguistics and covers like the impact of linguistics, impact of colonization specifically on linguistics, which is a fascinating thing to approach, right? And she's also one of my favorite caveat. She's one of my favorite authors because she's really good at what she does. But what she does is really freaking traumatic. If you have read the Burning God, her debut trilogy, which is one hell of a debut trilogy, holy shit. I can recommend it on the basis that it's really well crafted, But there are caveats. That thing has trigger warnings up the wazoo. It is not a light read. There are lighthearted moments, there are moments of humor, and then about 85% of the book is going to stab a dagger into your ribs and jiggle it around to see what it can find with a sharp end. And the unfortunate thing is, I was reading that concurrently with The Broken Earth by N.K. Jemisin. Which is... Jemisin? That doesn't sound right. N.K... Yeah, Jemisin. Yeah, I got it right. I was just thinking G instead of J for some reason. Which is also one of my favorite favorite authors recently. At least during the last couple years. But also left me really traumatized. Because the Broken Earth trilogy is not a light read. How do I touch upon it? There's abuse of every single flavor out there that you can think of. Physical abuse, mental abuse, sexual abuse, cultural abuse, systemic abuse. If you're not having a good moment in your life right now, these are not two authors that I would recommend while you're still struggling. If you need some catharsis for the stuff that you've been through before, maybe you can find something in those two. But they are the opposite of light reads. I had to take a multi-month break from reading in general after reading those two trilogies, and then just pick up some Terry Pratchett, because I always go back to Terry Pratchett as the foundation for everything else I write about, and that helped set my brain back in. But don't do those back to back. Don't do Broken Earth into Burning God back to back. I don't recommend that. Definitely find some manga to like space out between the books. Something light, something cheery, something positive, some slice of life. I got my hands on a couple volumes of The Way of the House Husband, because that is one of the best series to ever come out of Japan in the last like 10 years. I need to find the rest of the volumes. That's just one of my favorite like comedies before. Circo Kai, thank you for the subscription. But yeah, this is just me catching up with all of you. We're about 15 minutes out from the start of the Hololive program, so I'm probably going to be done here. I just basically wanted to light... Oh, type this author sometime later. Okay, so it's... Yeah, let me do that right now, actually. N.K. Jemisin. Okay, Earth. Yeah. Rebecca Kwong. There we go. There it is in chat. Yeah. Not the lightest read. Amazing world building, amazing craftsmanship. N.K. Jemisin is a multi-time Hugo Award winner for a damn good reason. In fact, it caused a lot of controversy because she kept on winning the awards while everybody else was just like, yeah, I guess it's going to her again this year, while she was publishing that trilogy. And it actually caused a bit of like a racist feud between some of the older like sci-fi like figureheads in the community that were, well, as you can guess, white, cisgender male, and very, very straight and conservative, who are saying, I guess the Hugo Awards are woke this year again. But honestly, there is absolutely no comparison between the craft that N.K. Jemisin does casually and the stuff that they've been writing. Just no comparison. There's no comparison on the impact that the 5th season had on the genre and on the growth of the sci-fi community that it helped build out, nor the creativity of her world building and of the structures that she puts into her books, the cultures of it, the personality she feeds it with. But people are always going to complain. People are always going to complain out of spite, out of jealousy. And it's boring. It's boring hearing about the gripes from Vox Day and everybody else. I just want to read good shit. If their shit can't catch up to hers, I don't know what to tell you. Get good, scrub. But yeah, not to tarry too much this week. I will be doing this pretty much every Sunday, I want to say. Every Sunday, I'm going to be doing a Zatsudan just to like chill out, discuss whatever's on my mind. If there's some drama to talk about, we'll get into that. If I feel like talking about it, right? And that's going to be the plan from as much as I can from here on out, or until like there's something that's causing me to not stream on Sundays. Like if I'm traveling or something, right? I'm probably not going to be doing much of a Zatsudan when I'm out in Evo, right? Because I'll be busy. Although I might, if there is a possibility of doing shorts out in Evo, I might. I do have a setup now for doing some IRL stuff as well. I bought a basically a strap setup to put the camera on my chest as if it was a GoPro. So I can probably do some cooking vids, some craft vids, stuff like that. Like a POV view of me doing like Gundam builds, so you can actually see my hand while they're doing everything. I also finally fixed my webcam. I found some super glue and like glued the little screw thing that was like popped out on the bottom back in. Hopefully that'll stick. If not, I'll just have to get a new webcam. It's pretty old anyhow. I probably should. Not that I really need a really good webcam, because at least for YouTube stuff, right? It does 1080 at like I think 30 frames per second, so it does well enough. But I do think the resolution is a little low if I want to broadcast my hand, for instance, or like show off a craft that I'm working on. But intermixing IRL crafts with VTubing has been something I've been doing ever since day one in the first place, so do that a little more. I also think I should get around to finally dusting off my 3D printer, because I found a design for a, what's it called? An Oculus Quest 2 stand. So I can finally clean up my desk a little more instead of having electronics on every single freaking inch of this thing. It's a huge mess right now. There are water bottles and Coke cans and some tissue paper and some business cards from Mofkai, and also a lot of electronics. They're just like strewn everywhere because there's nothing good to hang them on. So I should fix that. But for now, with 10 minutes to go, I'm going to say thank you for you all for coming by, hanging out with me, shooting the breeze. I will have a schedule out tomorrow morning with hopefully my plans for the rest of the week. Although actually, I should be able to stream more, because given that I have Tuesdays and Wednesdays off. But my Thursday and Fridays are probably going to kill me. So because if we're not working on those on Tuesday and Wednesdays, we still got to catch up on shit that we missed out on for the rest of the week. Oh, that's going to be a pain in the ass. It's going to be a pain in the ass. But yeah, we'll probably talk more on Tuesday. It'll probably be another... it'll be on Twitch again for... basically Guilty Gear practice, because I need to get those overdrives in. And otherwise, yeah, thank you again for hanging out. I'll see you then. And as always, my friends, eat well. And if you do plan to, I will be watching the Hololive Connect World event with the rest of you. And enjoy. Take care, y'all. See you next time.